For every 1 billion particles of antimatter, there were 1 billion and 1 particles of matter. And when the mutual annihilation was complete, 1 billionth remained, and that's our present universe.
Albert Einstein, Physics, 1921.
Welcome back to the Dex, where this week we're looking on the other side of the coin. I'm Lone Wolf Alex.
And I'm his opposite equal, PokeKellz. Duality. We see it in both science and spirituality. For every action, there is an equal yet opposite reaction. For every yin, yang. For every god, a devil.
Giratina, Ghost Dragon, the Renegade Pokemon. Legendary version mascot of Pokemon Platinum. He has an altered form and an origin form.
Some see him as an evil counterpart to Arceus' god character, while others see him as a noble guardian who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to the greater good.
But which one is he? You'll definitely hear our theory by the end of this episode, but for now, let's lay the groundwork.
Woo! Too serious.
Yeah, man. Shake it off. Shake it off.
So, what is Giratina based off of? Well, in its altered form, he can best be described as a six-legged sauropod. It has a lot of design elements in common with his fellow Gen 4 legendaries, Dialga, Palkia, and even Arceus himself, especially in the face. Whoa, dude, I just noticed. 6 legs, 6 rings around his neck, 6 wings in origin form? Totally demonic!
Relax, Chipmunk, we'll get there. In his origin form, he seems connected to Seta, a giant serpent centipede from a Japanese fairy tale called My Lord Bag of Rice. Awful name, cool story.
Seta's the villain in the story, so 1 point for being a bad guy, but he's also as large as a mountain and devours other dragons, so 1 point for awesomeness.
Honestly though, as awesome as his folklore-based design inspiration is, it really falls short of his science trivia on the awesomeness scale at large. This largely has to do with one word, which also coincidentally happens to be the very thing Giratina is the guardian of: antimatter. Basically, it's the opposite of everything.
Physics caps on. We all know matter is the substance that makes up all observable physical objects. It exists in 4 states: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. And everything within these states are made up of the particles you might have already heard of: protons, neutrons, and electrons.
Yeah, there's way more types of particles than that, but that doesn't matter because now it's time to talk about antiparticles. If a particle means an antiparticle, to annihilate, which means they're both converted into other types of particles, and an immense amount of energy is released.
Obviously, antiparticles are super rare because if they weren't, crazy annihilations would be happening all over the place. In fact, one of the only known naturally occurring places to find them is in gamma rays that are released during lightning strikes. Really? Hey, little positrons.
Okay, but how does this have anything to do with the story of Giratina? He guards that stuff, so what?
Oh, it's not that hard, doofus. Created into a world of matter, Giratina, the lord of antimatter, was destructive.
Oh, is that the hint for the Pokemon creation myth? Well, etc.
Well, yeah.
The Sinnoh-myths state that having tumbled from the vortex, the egg gave rise to the original one. From itself, 2 beings the original one did make. Time started to spin, space began to expand, the 2 beings wished, and from them, matter came to be.
Remember Einstein from earlier? He predicted, as it was later determined quite correctly, that if matter existed, mathematically, antimatter also needed to exist.
To do this, he took his famous equation, E equals mc squared, and modified it to E squared equals m squared c to the 4th. Solving this equation yielded 2 answers, a positive and a negative: matter and antimatter. You can't have one without the other.
So even though we actually never hear about Arceus creating Giratina, we can infer using physics that he was created out of necessity the moment all matter was created.
So, is he the devil then? Not exactly. Sure, he was causing destruction, but it was likely just the result of annihilation caused by the meeting of matter and antimatter.
So where does this fit in with our Pokemyth? Well, once he found out that Giratina's very existence threatened to destroy the entire universe, Arceus had to banish him by ripping open the fabric of space-time and creating all kinds of other dimensions, including the one he banished Giratina to.
Then, Giratina's antimatter probably consumed all the matter in that universe to form the reverse or distortion world. Since it's all antimatter instead of matter, it's literally the opposite of our world. Our whole world!
So it was because of Giratina that new dimensions were created, which eventually made it possible for the extra-dimensional human creatures to make it through the Pokemon world, like we said in our Arceus episode last week?
Yep, and it could be a perfect possible solution to the great mystery of antimatter in our world, namely, where the heck is it? Easy, maybe in another dimension.
Dang, Dang, dude, I'm really starting to gain a new appreciation for the center region, man.
Good, man. Finally. Now, let's keep the Grizziest Orb a-rolling with some Gen 6 Giratina battle
keep the
strap.
Grizziest Orb a-rolling?
Yeah, what do you...
The Grizziest Orb switches emphasis between Giratina's offensive and defensive stats. Grab a careful one, super train it in HP and special defense, and leave the Grizziest at the door. That's right, we're going altered form.
This guy's going to be a specially defensive behemoth, so start with Will-O-Wisp for the burn to make up for his weaker physical defenses.
From there, you just gotta be in it for the long haul. Use Dragon Tail for a moderately strong stab that will keep switching in new team members for you to wisp at. Your opponents will be super frustrated, folks.
Use his ability Pressure to make it even more discouraging to attack him, and between rest and leftovers, Giratina's gonna live a good long time, and relatively status-free.
Finally, in that last slot, go with Sleep Talk. It'll randomly do one of your other moves while you're asleep. It's not perfect, but at least you'll make up for a few turns you lose while you're sleeping.
Of course, that's not the only way to train a Giratina, so as always, here are a few random thoughts.
Switch to a calm nature and use Roar instead of Dragon Tail if you're worried about making contact with rough skin, rocky helmet, spiky shield users, or fairy types that will nullify the attack. Gotcha.
Swap in the Grizziest Orb and use an Adamant Mon super trained in attack and defense as a great offensive defog user with moves like Shadow Sneak and Earthquake.
The Altered Form wall set also works with an impish physically defensive build. It's less common and can be a nasty surprise for overconfident foes.
And finally, think about a fully super trained Stab Draco Meteor on 120 base Origin Form attacker. I'm not even gonna give you any more than that, just think about it. Wow.
And that's it. Giratina. Not quite Satan, more like the Sultan of the opposite of...
Stop it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you've been digging our show for a while and want an easy way to give something back, head on over to patreon.com/thatonevideogamer for contributions that come with awesome incentives.
That's right. Sometimes we do private streams, and you too could have your name scroll over the credits. Links in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Lone Wolf Alex.
And I'm PokeKellz. Tune in next week for another Down Under episode of
The Dex. Good, man. Finally. Now, let's keep the Grizziest Orb rolling with some Gen 6 Giratina battle strategy.
Sorry, keep the Grizziest Orb a roar.
This guy's gonna be sneezing. I knew it.
Then Giratina's antimatter probably consumed all the matter in that universe to form the reserve world. A little extra world in case the world goes away. I'm moving there. Thanks, Gira. Tina?